So what is happening today at Brown Insurance? I know y'all got a very timely topic.
We do. It's actually, we entitled this one, Full Coverage and Other Insurance Myths. So it kind of came up when we had the ice the time before. Yeah. And people were putting jokes on Facebook.
Yeah, today's a full coverage day.
Yeah. And so like my friend Donna posted that on my page and I was like, ha ha. And then we saw an insurance agent post it. And so then I had to go back and tell Donna, okay, there's no such thing as full coverage, because you can't help it.
Yeah.
So that's our first myth is full coverage.
There's no such thing.
Full coverage means anything that could possibly happen is covered.
You're covered.
And that's not true.
That's not true.
And if your insurance agent says you have full coverage, you need a new insurance agent.
Or say, can I get that in writing?
Yeah. True. If they'll put it in writing, do it.
Yeah.
And then tell all your friends.
I'll give you an example of something.
So can you buy mostly coverage?
It's referred to as physical damage to your auto. And I'll tell you one thing that's not covered is freezing. We had people we had one person and they weren't our client. We looked at it for them that during the snowvid last year, they had a travel trailer that was on their auto policy and it froze up because they didn't drain it, and freezing, it was not covered under their auto policy. So there's not a lot of exclusions on the physical damage part, but there are some.
But it's not full coverage.
It's not full coverage, no. So that's the first myth.
But I think where that come from is from the financial institutions saying that you can't just have liability on your car. You have to add the other stuff to it.
Yeah, it did. And back, when I started in the industry referred to as a full coverage. Mm-hmm. But then I'm sure a few people got sued and what have you. And so then they changed it to comprehensive. Well, you can't say that anymore either. Because comprehensive makes it sound like it's everything. So it's damage to your auto, collision, and other than collision.
Yeah.
So if your car's hit with like a meteor or something like that,
that is not excluded.
No, that's an act of God or an act of nature.
Yeah. So
I just need
but a freeze isn't an act of nature?
Well, it's excluded.
It's excluded.
It's specifically excluded.
I mean, you might have it on your policy.
Well, you just need to drain your, if it's cold, you have to take
water precautions and prepare for.
Yeah.
You just can't willy-nilly it.
Oh.
Do you like that? Willy-nilly.
Yeah, the willy-nilly coverage.
Willie's one thing, nilly is a whole other thing. Okay, so then another one we hear is, all insurance policies are the same.
Wrong. Big time wrong.
Yeah. Even like we're talking about auto policies, personal auto policy
versus commercial.
Yeah,
and different.
Then, but you've got this company that automatically adds rental and what have you with their business expansion endorsement.
Roadside.
This one doesn't. Yeah. So yeah. And there's really, I guess, maybe workers' compensation, maybe the one thing where they're mostly the same.
Similar?
Yeah, because it's a state thing, Mm-hmm. And so, but then there's still endorsements.
But state to state wouldn't be.
Right, it wouldn't be. And then
the same.
on your workers' compensation policy, you have endorsements and all that.
Yeah.
So, but no two policies are the same.
Just because your buddy gets it doesn't mean you're getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if you buy it from the same person.
So this one, Monica gets a whole lot.
I have my car listed on 2 policies. Why? Well, because I drive it for my business, but then I drive it for personal use. Don't do that.
No, they think they have extra coverage.
Yeah.
But they don't. What could happen is they may have no coverage.
Yeah, because both companies are going to say, oh, no, not me. It's on you.
It's on you.
And then the finger pointing starts.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there with a busted car and nowhere
Nobody
to go.
wants to pay
That's
for
where
it.
you got to call your lawyer.
Yeah. So, well, you just don't do it.
You're not getting more coverage. You're not getting extra coverage. You just need it on one policy, and talk to your agent. They can help you.
So you're saying you can't go to both companies with the same wreck?
No,
Okay.
That's
just going to be bad all the way around.
Okay.
Actually, if you do that, I kind of want to sit back and watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my popcorn.
Well,
We just don't want it to be our client.
Yeah, yeah.
I can promise you this: when it comes to insurance, I'm not doing anything.
Good
Nothing.
choice.
It's wise decision.
I let the people in my insurance department of my life handle all that.
I don't try to preach sermons or call ball games,
Yeah, we stay in our lane.
Yeah, that's right.
There is one place we stay in our lane.
So I get this one all the time, and it makes me laugh that people believe this. Well, it's costing you more premium because your car's red. And I'll say no. And they'll be, no, really it is. And I was like, no, really it isn't. Insurance company doesn't know what color my car is. That does not affect anything.
The police do.
Yeah, but and it never has mattered. It's just a myth that people believe, and it's just not true.
Yeah.
The color of your vehicle does not have anything to do with your premium.
So that's why I bought mine white. I thought it was going to be like least seen.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you didn't
Bring your insurance rate down a little bit.
I know, that's what I thought.
I'm not saying that, like you said, the cops won't notice it or whatever, but that doesn't have anything to do with insurance.
Okay.
So,
Until
One
you get a
more.
ticket, then it does.
So I only need to carry the state limits.
yeah, that's a myth.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
Terrible idea. Why? Tell us why.
Well, because I promise you, those limits change constantly.
No.
No, I'm saying is that if you go, let's say I go in, Sonia talked about this. Let's say I go in and I buy something and I insure it for $25.
Maybe he should just
I
let
see
us
where it's going.
explain it.
Yeah. I
No,
think
just say
you're
we're
not
going
on-
to.
No, I see where
You're
you're
not
going
on the
because
right.
you've been listening to us the last few
Yes.
times that cost of things are changing and all
Yes.
that. Okay, so you've got a little part of it right.
Okay.
But we're talking about the liability
So
limits.
I'm glad you said I was partly right.
Yeah.
To
So
drive a vehicle in Texas, you are required to carry a certain limit, and it's so low I can't even remember what it is.
it's either
anymore.
$25,000 or $30,000. So how much does a Tundra cost?
Right now,
Yeah,
brand new off the deal, or what I'm driving.
brand new.
brand new.
Probably what, 50,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're carrying $25,000 limits, and I smack you, and that's what my policy's going to pay out, guess who's on the hook for that
The rest
extra?
of it.
I'm walking.
No,
No, the person that hit
the person that hit you is getting sued for the amount over that state minimum
Yeah.
and what your truck is worth.
Right.
and that's for the physical
Yeah.
damage. Then there's the bodily injury that, I mean, it's just not enough. It's not enough coverage.
When
at
they
all.
get whiplash and they have to go to the doctor and their
Yeah,
kid
but people
gets
are,
it.
most people are in that situation just buying an insurance card so they won't get a ticket or they can
You're
get,
right.
get their license plate.
and
You're
it
right,
works
but-
out really well until they have an accident.
And you would be shocked to know the difference between the premium of $25,000 and $100,000. It's usually so small. You're crazy not to do it, and your agent
It's crazier.
is crazier.
Well, that's when you need
just-
somebody to explain it to you.
Yeah.
And in commercial lines, $1 million liability is not that much more expensive than $500,000. And so
Usually it's within $100.
Yeah.
Like it's so low, it's not worth it. So
Okay, so this is another one. If I let my friend borrow my car, they have a wreck, their insurance is going to cover the damage to my car. Probably not.
yeah,
There are some circumstances, but your policy on your car is going to pay first.
yeah.
And so, so you need to be really careful who you loan your
Insurance
vehicle.
follows the vehicle.
Insurance usually follows the vehicle. Now, there's weird circumstance that if you don't carry collision and they were considered 100% negligent, which nobody is ever 100% negligent, their liability amount. But no, be careful who you loan your vehicle to, your insurance could be on the hook for it.
And then that's a claim against you.
And your policy goes
And
up.
and your premiums will be evaluated on that at renewal.
yeah.
So it's not just a one-time shot.
That was actually another rule. We couldn't make prank calls, and I couldn't let anybody drive my vehicle. Rick and I were coming back from Wichita Falls from a date one time, and it was pouring rain, like you couldn't see. And I was like, you're just going to have to drive, and I just didn't, my dad didn't find out. And we were, he was a way better driver than me. I was 15 years old or 16 years old, but yeah, that was the rule.
Yeah.
So see, anyway.
So the next one is, if my car is totaled in an accident, I'm no longer responsible for my car payments.
That's not true. I found that out fastly.
Very fast, didn't
Yeah.
you? Yeah. So
Yeah, we recommend, and it's really better probably to buy it from the dealership as the gap insurance.
Yes.
But yeah, that you're very good chance that, depending on where you are and you're making your payments, that the actual cash value of your vehicle is going to be less than what you owe on
Well,
it.
I'm dead serious about this. You can buy a car, truck, SUV, whatever it is, for a certain amount of money. You start it up, and you drive off.
depreciated.
You drive off, starting it, and the next thing you know, that it's depreciated. And if you don't have that gap insurance, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. So then, okay, this is a different, we've been talking about autos, but let's talk about buildings, flood. I don't live in a floodplain, so I don't need flood insurance. Okay. You know how it hardly ever rains, but then when it starts raining, it just rains and rains and rains and rains. And so, water starts coming up. If that water does not come from an opening in your roof, it is flood insurance. So rising waters, and like I said, it happens so fast. I think of a few years ago during the carnival when it poured and poured and poured and poured, and the water was, coming up from their yard into their house. That is flood. And so, it is cheaper to buy flood insurance if you're not in a flood zone, but so that's a myth that I think, people need to look at.
Yeah.
Because, and another thing about flood insurance is you can't just buy it when it starts raining. There's a 30-day waiting period unless you have a new loan. And the loan, and I'll be honest, almost every flood policy that I've seen people buy is because they have a loan that makes them.
Yeah.
But that's something.
Grant almost ran into that the other day.
But yeah, it's a flood unless it's comes.
And we're talking about water coming from the sky.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, pipe breaking is something totally different.
Yeah. No, we're talking about rain.
We're talking about rain and streams coming up and.
Yeah. So flood insurance is something to think about. And then our favorite is the last one.
Oh, I don't need an insurance agent.
Yeah. I'll just buy it online. I'll just buy my insurance online.
Until
you need somebody.
Exactly.
Until you need somebody in your corner and in your court that's going to go to battle for you.
There's nothing more, scary to me is that whenever I would get an email about that accident that I had, or dealing with an insurance company, or dealing with a finance company, and I'm on my own.
I can't tell you the number of times that I've had to go to bat for our customers through a claim where the claim adjuster is just not doing what they need to do, and the insured is just fed up. And I understand. So, as an agent, we have a little bit more pull. We don't have a lot, but we have a little bit more pull to say, I need a supervisor now.
And people, the myth is that it's cheaper if you don't have an agent. Well, guess what? Yes, an agent makes commission. But if you buy it online, the person that you bought it from, they're paying them. So it's,
and you're never seeing that person again.
But it's not like, they're doing.
And I bet you if you call them, you're going to get chipped from Bangladesh.
Well, that too. But it's not cheaper because they're paying a salary. Yeah, they're paying a salary to that employee. It's the same difference. Except that employee isn't going to go to bat for you. They're just going to sell you the insurance.
And your agents, a lot of times, have deals because we are selling and putting so much business with the company that they actually give us lower rates.
Yeah.
We've run into that just between agents where you've got somebody quoting and it may be that the other agent puts more with that particular company, so their rates are a little bit better than what we can do. I mean, we've seen that. So an agent is important, but
not just because we are one.
And Rick, if you don't understand what you're buying, what are you getting?
That's why I ask. I don't buy anything until I ask first. I found that out 35 years ago.
And even if your wife works at an insurance agent, you still need an auto ID card in your car.
Yeah, ask her about that.
Oh, we know. She knows. Everybody knows.
Yeah, I went to go get her inspection today. Guess what? Insurance card.
About that, yeah. I'm talking about the fact that Rick, the only auto ID card in his truck was the one when we bought it, and I'd given him one every 6 months, and it didn't make it in there. But I didn't have one in my car either.
I think the policy had just renewed.
Yeah, it had just renewed.
Whatever.
That's what happened with mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
whatever. All right. How do we get a hold of y'all?
Okay. So you can come see us in Graham, downtown in Sierra Banks, second floor, or call us at 940-549-2525. Or you can come see us in Hudson Oaks at 2950 Fort Worth Highway, Suite 500, or call us at 817-770-0096.
Or at 549-2525.
Or online.
Or, Brian Insurance, BrianINS.com.
That's right.
With the Y.
Brian with the Y.
Y.
Try it.
With the Y.
Brian with the Y.
Y.
Try it.
With the Y.